Do you know it's in that, by the way? My arms feel hurt. So
I'll think about that one for a sec. There are sort of bizarre situations frequently. I had a call in the office when I was working at EastEnders, and was sort of called down to the set and walked into Queen Vic, and all of a sudden I was asked on the spot to amend a scene. And I knew that as a trainee this was completely a mad thing to be asked, and it was bizarre sort of having the cast and crew stood there watching you while you were scribbling away. Just to explain a little bit, the Production Trainee Scheme is an 18-month fast track which aims to whiz a group of people through the BBC, train them up in television and radio. So it's 4 placements, and I'm now coming towards the end of my third, and I'm trying to decide what should be my final placement. I have worked at Radio 4, EastEnders, and I'm currently working on the Chris Evans Breakfast Show on Radio 2. It's a hugely long application, 5 rounds, 9-month process. Formal application processes are, to be honest, a nightmare. Getting into the BBC on a trainee scheme is difficult. They have approximately between 3,500 and 4,500 applicants per year for 11 places. It is hard, but the media industry is also a place full of people who are extremely excited about their work. And it's with any kind of job, with any work environment, if you go in as someone who is excited about what someone does, they will respond to you. I graduated from Cambridge University in 2012. Started to work almost immediately after that. Just jumped into a job at an independent production company. Yeah, I mean, I was involved with university radio to start with. Started off at Cam FM, had a weekly show there. And then I ran a couple of online television stations. The biggest thing that they do is that they prove your commitment to the media industry when you're coming to apply for jobs. So a lot of the skills that I use now, the technical skills, are completely different. But the skills that I learned definitely set me up for interviews and being able to go in and say, yeah, I know what I'm talking about. Sure, so I got involved with Watersprite mainly in sort of filming events and interviewing guests. It's a fantastic festival. You get speakers from all across the film and television industry. You get to mix and socialise with people who go in the audience who have a kind of passion for film and television, which is just exciting. It's an exciting atmosphere. More than technical skills, people skills are hugely important in the media industry. There's something quite frightening when you walk into a radio studio or you walk in onto a television set. No matter who you are, you will still experience that kind of immediate bit of fear. As a member of the production team, it's part of your job to make that person feel settled. There's also working with colleagues who come from a whole range of personalities. It's about recognising certain character traits and balancing those to make sure that everyone works as a team. Whilst you have to be quite headstrong and determined to get into the media industry once you're there, no production can work without a solid team behind it. Challenges in the media industry often can come with difficult talent or difficult guests. As I say, the media industry is about people skills, and you have to get your head around how say talent might be feeling when they come to present a show. What's going through their mind when they're in front of the mic. And for instance, on the Chris Evans Breakfast Show, he's a fantastic presenter in my opinion, but he is sat there every morning knowing that he's got 10 million listeners around the world, and that it's the biggest breakfast show in Europe. For any kind of talent, any celebrities, any guests that you're working with, you have to immediately think, where have they come from, say before this interview or this recording, and what are they going to be thinking when they're in this situation, and how can I make them feel most at ease just to enjoy the situation that they're in.
So what one piece of advice would you give to a student like yourself 2 years ago looking to break into the media industry?
ask questions. Ask as many questions as you can. Try not to be too annoying when you ask them, and pace yourself. So if you approach someone, think about, you know, the fact that they might be incredibly busy. Also time your question during their week. Think about what show that they work on, for instance. If it TXs on a Friday morning, don't send them an email on a Thursday afternoon because they're going to be very busy. Also think about the people that you should be approaching. So say if you're going into development, approaching a head of development is a great idea in a particular department, because they'll be the people who are hiring new development researchers, for instance, and they're going to want to hear your ideas. So always ask questions, but always be prepared to go in with a few answers yourself. So if you're going for an interview or an informal meeting, there's never such thing as an informal meeting, but if you're going for a meeting with someone in a department that you're interested in, make sure you go in with a set of answers to questions like, so what do you enjoy out of our output? And what would you change if you had the opportunity to? But also go maybe with a few ideas of your own. So if you're going for an interview in a factual department, bring along a couple of ideas for a few docs that, you know, maybe are a bit different to what we've seen. So ask questions. And when it comes to coming up with your own ideas, always ask yourself, why now? The highlight is just, it sounds cheesy, but it's being here every day, walking through the BBC doors and knowing that I'm part of this organisation.